The name Cursola sounds like a spell. Like, Mwahaha! I curse you with blinding light! Cursola! But actually, it's a Pokemon. This Pokemon, a Galar-only evolution of Galarian Corsola. Oh no, it's so sad! Why is it sad? Who hurt you? What's going on? Why does it die? Oh no! Is it us? We did this! Oh no! But why? And how? Oh, it's evolving. Oh, now it's super cool looking. Oh man, I want more of these. Galar actually made Corsola cool. So let's make some more. I love my cat Sasha. Ooh! And she loves you too. You can see it in her face. Love her so much. I just want to stuff her into a car made of boxes of various shapes and customize it with stickers and a load of different weapons and even Hot Wheels stuff. And then make her fight other cats in the same situation. But unfortunately, that's illegal. So today's sponsor made a game about it. Cats. A game where you can do all that stuff with an adorable little kitty. Unlock new parts and build their cars the way you see fit, and then watch them duke it out with other cats and other cars. There's an awesome campaign mode with awesome characters, and every 2 weeks there's an All-Stars competition, where you can test your car against others. And did I mention the Hot Wheels thing? It's awesome. So if this looks like your kind of thing, then be sure to check the description for a special link that'll give you extra rewards, and a big thanks to Cats for sponsoring this channel. I want to stuff you in a box. Oh, coral reefs. They are quite pretty. They've got blues, reds, purples, pinks, greens, and that's just the coral. The many, many fish and other marine creatures that live in them truly make the whole place bustling with life. But similar to how this white moose is super cool and this white alligator is awesome, white coral reefs are pretty wicked awesome too. So much awe. I am just in classical awe. So, well, clearly we gotta make more of them, right? So how do we do that? Well, first we should figure out what this is called. It's called bleaching. So you just dump a bunch of bleach into the ocean? That sounds really bad for the fish. Well, I suppose, as a human, that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. 2 parts bleach for every 1 part water. Put your coral in, wait 2 days, and there you go. That's how you do it small scale. But we've got entire reefs to bleach. So off the top of my head, I think there are like 352 quintillion gallons of water in the ocean. So we're gonna need 704 quintillion gallons of bleach. I don't think there's enough bleach in the world. So we're gonna have to do things the next best way. I guess we'll have to bleach this coral the more natural way. You could say it's organic. So coral reefs, they've existed for something like 400 million years, right? But in just the last 30 years, they've all begun turning white like this, all over the globe. And since climate change is clearly fake, this can only mean one thing. Someone stole my idea and they're already doing it! Ugh! No such thing as originality anymore. And whoever's doing it already has a 19% head start. Yeah, nearly 20% of the planet's coral is bleached already, and another 17 only has a decade or 2 left. How am I even gonna catch up with this guy? Well, step 1 is starting. So I gotta know, how are they doing it? What's going on? Well, that doesn't sound so natural at all, so can't be true. So what specifically is causing corals to turn white? Well, what gives them their color in the first place? It's algae. Coral is super rough, perfect little homes for algae to live. This algae eats sunlight to photosynthesize, and its byproduct is then eaten by the coral. But here's the key. If the coral or algae gets stressed, they start not getting along as well as they used to. So they start a messy breakup process. And then when the coral has finally had enough, it kicks it all out, which leaves it empty and thus turns it white. And if it stays white for too long, it dies, leaving it permanently white. Neat! So, all we need to do is stress out Corsola and it will eventually evolve into our awesome ghost type, Cursola. It's awesome! I just want it so bad! So how do we stress out poor Corsola? What would possibly weigh so heavily on a Corsola's mind? There's a lot. So much that, well, I found a video. Look. It's completely real. Hope it doesn't ruin it.
The reef, the most biodiverse biome on the planet. And the entire biome is dependent on the growth and continued survival of coral. Without coral, there is no reef. But as we've recently learned, the coral is under attack. But by what, you might ask? Well, here are their greatest serial killers. First, we look to ocean acidification. Many of us know that the boreal forests of the north and the Amazon rainforest are vitally important in their roles of the global ecosystem, absorbing carbon dioxide and converting it into oxygen for us and the animals to breathe. But did you know that the oceans share this role? Through various processes, the upper ocean absorbs CO2 and converts it into various other substances. But one of these is carbonic acid, which can affect the pH balance of the water. And with the ever-increasing levels of CO2 in our atmosphere, the oceans are turning too basidic in some areas for corals to thrive. This overly acidic water slowly wears down their calcification, which not only makes it more difficult for coral to grow, but makes it more susceptible to illnesses as well. On top of this, rising temperatures and sea levels impact the abilities of reefs, making photosynthesis more challenging, and also increasing the spread of disease. Next, we look to fishing. Only 5% of reef-dwelling fish are easily capable of breeding in captivity. As such, the other 95% of collected fishes for aquariums are confiscated from coral reefs, which would otherwise benefit from their population. But of course, it gets worse than that. One method of capture involves sodium cyanide, a chemical that narcotizes the prized fish in the area. But of course, it spreads and kills many more fish in the area. While this process is illegal in most well-off countries, that doesn't remove the responsibility from the fish collectors in those countries. Their fishing gear from beach seams, gill nets, and anchors break branching corals and suffocate many more. And that's not even mentioning the minor lesions and abrasions they create, leading to only more disease and more coral death. And let's not even get into the methods that use dynamite or grenades. And when you combine this impact with industrial fishing, well, before the 1980s, fishers would avoid letting their nets fall deep enough into the ocean to harm coral, as it could ruin their nets too. But as soon as rockhopper trawls were invented and brought into the industry, the damage grew exponentially, as they allow the nets to roll over rough surfaces, including deep-sea coral reefs. So far, it is unknown how long it takes coral to recover from this process, and the worst of this is found in southern Australia, where 90% of the surfaces on coral seamounts are now bare rock, thanks to this process. Next, we look to pollution. When most think of pollution in the oceans, they picture plastic bottles, straws, grocery bags, cigarette butts, and other similar wastes. While these do deal damage, they hardly cause a dent compared to the real pollutants, such as abandoned fishing nets, agricultural runoff, and industrial wastewater. All those pesticides and herbicides on our crops slowly wash off as they are watered, and ultimately it flows into our oceans, wreaking havoc on ocean life. And even sediment runoff smothers corals and interferes with their ability to feed and reproduce. Various metals commonly found in industrial waste, for example copper, specifically, has been shown to interfere with these processes as well. And other chemicals absorb the oxygen right out of the water, leading to eutrophication, which also kills coral and smaller fish. But of course, that doesn't mean you personally aren't playing a role here. The common sunscreen ingredient, oxybenzone, causes coral bleaching and has an impact on other marine fauna. Some 6,000 tons of sunscreen ends up entering reef areas annually. And recreational diving has gained a considerable amount of popularity in recent years. And these 23 million divers a year are all of low skill, and many are naughty. They bump the coral, take the coral, and stress the sea life in the area. While individually these impacts are all small, they all affect the big picture. And thus, we all need to do our part to save the coral.
What a load of fracking propaganda! But just in case it's right, here's what I need to do. Drive my car as inefficiently as possible, buy non-organic foods, frequently use sunscreen, buy so many saltwater aquariums, specifically with fish imported from South America and the Philippines, go cyanide dynamite diving as often as possible, eat the cheapest, most industry-fished seafood I can find, live in a coastal city, and of course, never buy anything organic or pesticide-free. That way, I can do my part in stressing the absolute heck out of all of the Corsola, and make Galarian Corsola be all of the Corsola. You know, come to think of it, it does make sense that Corsola in Galar specifically would be all dead and stuff. Galar had a head start. England started the Industrial Revolution. Their reefs were the first to die. The lucky ducks. But you know what? One person can't have that big of an impact. So I'm going to need help with this. One man is not enough. So whoever it is that has a head start on this, they must already have billions on their side. Getting all the coral bleached for his idea. So I'm going to need your help too. Together we can speed up the deaths, I mean, the awesome bleaching of all the Corsola. So like I said, all you need to do is... Oh wait, most of you already are! Oh, thank you so much. Keep it up. Our reefs really can't last much longer. They most likely will all be white within my lifetime already, thanks to the actions of me and all of you. Ha! Thanks for helping make my dream come true. And don't change anything about the way you live your life. We're already on the path to a white Christmas. I sure hope I won't get in trouble for this. Sarcasm is a thing, and a lot of people, well, let's just say they suck. Let's let Corsola and Cursola be a reminder or a wake-up call that our reefs are dying at an increasingly alarming rate. So, at the very, very least, do your research on the stuff you buy, and don't partake in unsustainable diving adventures. Maybe plant a tree, or 5, or 10, #teamtrees. For real though, please plant some trees. I already did, and I felt good about myself for at least an hour. And again, just do your research on all the stuff you buy, because ultimately, doing more research is really using your noggin.